From the State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois, the ultimate destination for all high school basketball teams in the land of Lincoln. Two historic programs duking it out in today's Class 2A state semifinal. It's the Peoria Manual Rams making their 24th state appearance in program history, looking for their 6th state title. Today, they go up against the Chicago Dyett Eagles, making their first ever trip to state down here in Champaign. Alongside Gavin Russell, I'm Jonathan Michael. Gavin, so fun to be down here in Champaign. We're going to see a great game between two similar teams, two very historic teams as well.
Yeah, both these teams play very similar styles, lots of exciting players on both sides, and they utilize a lot of their team. You know, they're not a one-trick pony. Yes, they do have a couple of particular leaders we'll pick on a lot today, but both teams are going to go 3, 4, maybe even 5 deep onto their bench. So certainly a game that's going to be full of runs. It's just going to be whoever can throw the last punch, and it should be a close one all the way through. Most
definitely. We saw a couple of games earlier today. Not many of them have been close, however. We saw Peoria Christian. They fell to Lanark Eastland in 1A semifinal action earlier, 55-35. And just before this one tipped off, the reason why we're a little delayed getting on the air was Belleville Althoff and Chicago Christ the King were a little long, that game was, but Althoff won that one, so the winner will face Althoff, the Crusaders, in Saturday's title game. Loser will play tomorrow morning against Christ the King.
Yeah, that was a game. It was kind of close halfway through, and then Althoff just pulled away. You know, they got a big run there. I believe it was about a 12-0 run towards the end of the first half. And, yeah, just from then on, they were kind of unstoppable. A few late fouls, a couple of technicals for Christ the King kind of set them back. But either team is going to be a challenge, no matter if you're playing for first place or third place. But I think the Rams would like to play for a chance to win a state title. It's been a little bit since they've done that, and I think they'd like to get back to their winning ways.
Definitely. Let's start with the Rams, Gavin. Again, last time they were here was in 2019. They ended up finishing 4th, but again, 24 state bursts. This is their last year manual, or last time they were here, excuse me. They were 4th in Class 3A. Now they're playing in Class 2A this year. And, I think it's definitely helped the Rams. They're playing in Class down, but I still think this Rams team could make it to state in Class 3A as well. They're playing some good ball. They've won 9 straight after losing 7 in a row in between January and February.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Manual played a rigorous schedule. They played every bit of a 3 and a 4A schedule. You look at some of their games they played. They played Peoria High 3 times, who made it to the 3A Super Sectional. They barely lost to Morton. You play teams like Simeon, Plainfield North, Rock Island, Normal Community. You did lose some of those games, but that prepared you coming forward. So definitely a force to be reckoned with in 2A all season long. They're definitely prepared for this stage and definitely battle-tested.
Definitely, and I saw them back on Monday in their Super Sectional win against Williamsville. Gavin, I know you were there in the building, but they jumped out to a 20-0 run to start the game. It's going to be a big key for both of these teams is not to get buried early. Dyett likes to get out early. Manual likes to get out early. The first 4 minutes of this one could maybe decide it. We don't know.
It possibly could, and that's what Coach Jamal Gill said for Chicago Dyett. You know, he said they've started fast all season long, but at the same time, you mentioned Manual is pretty much taking care of business in every single one of the postseason games up to this point, whereas Dyett has played a lot of close games in the postseason. So that's probably the one way they contrast, but it all clashes right here at the U of I and playing right here in State Farm Center.
Yeah, you never know how these games at state are going to go. A quick look at what Manual's done in the postseason. They beat Clinton 63-47. They killed Tremont 72-36. That was a big win over a 27-win Turks team. Then they beat the Macomb Bombers very handily in that one, just ran them out of the building. And then they also took down a 30-win Sherrard team, 62-49 for the Sherrard sectional title before that win over Williamsville. Now for Dyett, again, making their first state appearance, they come in at 25-7. They won 54-50 against Chicago Perspectives Math and Science in their regional semi. Beat Chicago Phillips 62-43 for the regional title. They beat Chicago Butler 39-37, and then Leo 44-43 in the sectional title game. They come in after a 40-36 win over Bismarck, Henning, Rossville, Alvin. So they haven't scored more than 44 points in their last 3 games. Like, Gavin, that defense averaging, only allowing 44 points per game has been pretty impressive.
Yeah, no doubt. And Chicago Dyett, it's funny because earlier in the year they scored a lot of points. They even had a game where they scored 100 at one point. So, maybe it wasn't the best team they were playing, but regardless, to score 100 points is 100 points. They can do a little bit of everything, and you like a team like that, can get it done both offensively, can get it done defensively, but you look at some matchups, they only have a couple common matchups between both these teams. Both Chicago Dyett and Manual lost to Rock Island by just a couple of points earlier in the year. They also played Sherrard. Manual got the better of Sherrard by quite a bit. Chicago Dyett lost to Sherrard early in the year by 8 points. So those are the common matchups. You take it with a grain of salt. It was earlier in the year. However, those are a couple things to keep in mind.
Most definitely. And again, just comparing these two teams, Gavin, again, Manual has faced a lot of teams that don't really play their style of ball in the postseason. That all changes here today. This Dyett team, very fast, athletic, a lot of guards. They love to play good defense. I mean, we're going to see not really many traditional big men on the floor, but two teams that like to get up and down on offense and two teams that really like to bring the intensity on defense. It's just two almost carbon copies of each other.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are saying how they can go 5 guards at one time, which is untraditional against most teams where they have to kind of play those mismatches against big men. Yeah, but they match up exactly perfectly. So I think it's just going to come down to who finds themselves shooting better in this gym, who gets more acclimated to playing on the bigger court. And that'll just kind of determine things as we go throughout this game.
I definitely think defense can, really decide this one, especially because, again, you're playing on a college court. The court is bigger. It allows you to space out the floor a little bit more, so that favors maybe your offense for these 5-out all guard lineups for both of these teams. Makes it a little bit tougher on defense. You got to help side has got to, go an extra foot or two, so. But again, the depth perception, these big arenas sometimes can throw you off. And Manual, they played a couple games already in college gyms. They played at Northwestern. They also played at Mizzou earlier this season. So this is a team that has played on a college court before, so that might bode well for the orange and black.
Yeah, really it is. And you got to think, too, on a college court like this, you got 2 3-point lines, and sometimes I think that can trip up the guys. You see one line, you think, oh, hey, that's my 3-point range right there. Actually, you're a few steps back. So, it's something to keep in mind. I think we'll see both teams get acclimated. They'll play a better second half than they will a first half. I'm fairly certain of that. But certainly it's going to be a great matchup, and I'm looking forward to seeing what both sides can do.
Both teams lining up on their respective free throw lines. They'll meet in the middle for a sportsmanship handshake. Only about 10 seconds left on the clock, and then we'll get the pregame festivities underway. Again, glad you're with us here from the State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois. Jonathan Michael here alongside with Gavin Russell. A lot of students for both these schools. Manual let out school early at 1:30 today to allow all the students to come down here and watch their Rams here in Champaign. A lot of Dyett fans and black and yellow here as well. And a lot of, again, Manual and Dyett fans here in the stadium as well. Two loyal fan bases that are ready to cheer these teams on as they play for a state title berth on Saturday. We'll step aside for a quick moment and catch our breath and give you more pregame coverage here in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. It's Manual. It's Dyett. Again, one more spot in the 2A state title game. We'll figure out who will take it right after this on ClutchSportsIL.com.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the IHSA, are the 333,000 high school sports and performing arts students in Illinois. And so, we stand. We stand for the runners, debate team members, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, officials, and adjudicators. We stand for the drummers, football players, and actors. We stand for the golfers, singers, and swimmers. We stand as the national leader and advocate for these essential activities and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes!
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Illinois. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back inside the State Farm Center. Pre-game introductions going on here between the Manual Rams and the Chicago Dyett Eagles. Jonathan Michael here alongside with Gavin Russell. Gavin and both teams getting their non-starters introduced right now. We'll run you through the actual starters for both teams. We'll start with Manual. It's Reggie Postlethwaite, a 6'1" junior guard. He's joined by Dietrich Richardson, the man of the hour for the Rams, a Bradley commit. Top 150 recruit in the country, standing at 6'7" and a senior. What a career he's had. He gets to end it in Champaign. Also, Joshua Humbles, a 6'2" junior swingman, listed as a forward, but can definitely play as a guard. Terrence Page, a 6'3" senior forward, and Amari Breedlove, a 6'4" senior forward. But there's plenty of players, Gavin, that can make an impact for this Rams team. They can go 9, even 10 deep at times.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I think we've seen that. You know, there's been games I'm like, wait, why hasn't that guy gotten into the game yet? But sometimes you just got to ride the hot hand, and you never know who that could be. You've got ball handlers and guys like Postlethwaite, Humbles, Page, and of course Richardson from your starting lineup. But you could bring Reggie Postlethwaite off the bench. You know, you could bring Taj Tolliver off the bench. So there's a lot of guys to watch here. I think Manual today, if they're going to have success, they really need to settle in behind the three-point line. At times they've gone cold throughout the year, but this is the time to step it up and knock down from downtown.
Most definitely. They did have a lot of points in the paint against Williamsville. They just went at will into the paint, just killed Williamsville down low. We'll see if they can try and knock them down from deep. For Dyett, their starters go like this. It's a senior wing, Ricky Coleman, wearing number 4. He's joined by Aramis Brown, a 6'2" senior guard. Jaden McKinnon, a 6'4" senior wing. Makai Harris, a 5'9" senior guard. And Devin Shelton, a 6'1" senior guard. So all 5 seniors for this Dyett Eagles starters, and that's something that head coach Jamal Gill loves to have, especially here in the postseason.
Yeah, they've come a long way from when Jamal Gill started in 2016, a team full of freshmen, and they won 20 games that year, but now it's a team full of seniors. And he talked about Makai Harris. He's small but mighty. He's only 5'9", but he's one of those guys that can just step up and take over a game. So excited to see Harris. And they've got a deep bench too. Jameer Brown, Jacob Johnson, Matt Wilson, Christian Lowe, among others, can really bring a spark off the bench for the Eagles.
There are 10 Chicago area schools down here at State from Class 1 into 4A. Dyett, though, is the only Chicago Public League team that's still playing right now. And what a story, Gavin. You touched on it earlier. The first year in 2016 when they got the program back up and running, that comes after the school nearly closed down in 2015, reopened after the parents staged a hunger strike. They reopened back in 2016. And then they started out not even in a conference. They just played a non-conference schedule. They were in the Chicago Public League Blue Division, which is the lowest, and they moved up to the white after 2 years. Now they're playing in the red division against teams, you know, some big ones like Kenwood, like Phillips, and some of the big boys of Windy City basketball. And Dyett has certainly earned their trip down here, and they'll try to prove themselves against the Manual Rams. All get set for tip-off. Manual in their road blacks, orange numbers, and white trim. Dyett in white jerseys with a yellow Eagles script across the chest, black numbers, and no real trim. It's mainly a white and black and those yellow Eagles script there across the front for Dyett. It'll be Amari Breedlove to tip it off in the circle for Manual, going up against McKinnon, and we are underway. And the tip, after it's fumbled around, goes to Dyett. They go left to right here from the State Farm Center, home court of the Illinois Fighting Illini, and it is plenty loud in here for this state semifinal. Here's Shelton, kicks it over to Ricky Coleman there on the wing. He's driving in on Dietrich Richardson. Mismatch there, he drives in, lost the ball, and it will stay with Dyett.
Yeah, I think he just lost the handle on the way up and just kind of hit it off a Manual player out of bounds. It'll stay with Dyett.
So inbound on the baseline. That's McKinnon looking for somebody, gets it in. Now back to McKinnon, driving in. spinning. Breedlove is on McKinnon. Matchup of a 6'5 versus 6'4. Here's a drive in, using the body. Devin Shelton could not get it to, oh, he did get it to go. My apologies. So 2-0 Dyett here, 1 minute in.
I don't think that went in, John. I think it rolled off the rim. I think it was an errant PA announcement as the ball goes out of bounds, turned over. That was not a score.
Yeah, I didn't think I saw the ball go in when I heard the PA, so I assumed that it was a basket. But we stand corrected. 0-0 here, 7:10 to go. Manuel turns it over on the other end. Here's McKinnon bringing it up for the Eagles. He'll dribble out to the March Madness logo in between the big orange eye at midcourt and the three-point line. Here's a drive from Shelton, kick out, three-ball. Harris off the mark. Rebound to Richardson.
Good defense so far for the Rams. Got to make it happen on offense now.
Richardson, he's got the ball, kind of a point forward for the Rams at 6'7". He can bring it up, and if he's not doing it, it'll usually be postal weight. He's got the ball now. Dribbles up top. Now passes over to Richardson on the wing, right in front of the Dyett bench. Crosses over a defender, driving on the baseline, ran out of room. Looking for somebody, finds a wide open Amari Breedlove, who doesn't use the backboard and it rimmed out and go back to Dyett.
Yeah, that was just a bunny. Amari Breedlove just didn't make it. That's one he's going to want back. Got to settle out those nerves a little bit. And definitely try to make that work later in the game.
So still looking for our first bucket. Again, glad you're with us here on ClutchSportsIsle.com. What a fun playoff season it's been, and what a fun time it's been watching these Manual Rams play. Gavin, it's a team that we knew back in the summer was going to make some damage, and here they are in Champaign. They're defending here. Look at that trap defense all over the place. Breedlove now driving. McKinnon lays it up and in for Dyett. And there's that first bucket. It's 2-0 Eagles. Manuel liking to bring those double teams. That trap defense works so well against Williamsville. Here's postal weight on the other end, drives on the left side and can't get the layup to go.
That's just a bad break right there for postal weight. He had the move, he had the position, just an unfriendly rim.
So Eagles bring it back up now with Harris. Postal weight draped on him. Now Breedlove will step out on McKinnon. Listed as a power forward, but he's getting a lot of the ball handling duties here. He drives in and gets fouled. I think they might get Humbles there on the foul as McKinnon is on the floor, now helped back up to his feet.
Yeah, McKinnon, from my early view here, of course, is our first team seeing Dyett this year. McKinnon just has those long arms. He's listed at 6'4", but he definitely plays bigger than 6'4". So he's going to be, I think, their go-to guy. And he just got to kind of outsize Manuel a little bit as he shoots 2 free throws.
McKinnon's first is nothing but net, makes it 3-0 Dyett. Gavin, the story of the game, well, at least in my mind coming to this one, was what was Marvin Jordan, one of the best-dressed head coaches in PR, what is he going to wear? He had a nice-looking suit, orange bow tie on Monday. He's wearing a all-black suit today, a white dress shirt, and an orange bow tie here today. I always love seeing the coaches that dress up nice. Marvin Jordan takes this very seriously.
Definitely does, kind of reclaiming that old Manual tradition and dressing up very nice.
Second free throw was no good. Rams have it now, going right to left. Humboldt's feeding Page in the post, pulls over a man, no whistle. Page gets his own miss, puts it on the deck, puts it up, off the glass, and that was no good. Manuel just can't get the lid off here in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, they're having some good looks. They're making moves inside, but just not able to finish. Unfriendly rim once again.
Harris driving and kicking, 3-ball on the way, too strong. Rebounding goes to Jaquan Brown. He's a guy to watch off the bench. He had 8 off the bench in Monday's Super Sectional. Manuel feeds Page in the post. Doing some work, spinning, trying to find Richardson, but it went through his hands and out of bounds. So Manuel still looking to kind of get those state jitters out. And this is the first time for any of these players playing on this stage.
Just got to feel it out a little bit. Like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, it's going to be a better second half than it was the first half, and you can bank on that. Both teams really haven't found a range shooting, as the Eagles have not been able to connect from any of their outside shots. They've shot a couple threes, so they got to feel it out. Manuel employs a little full court pressure, as we've seen quite often.
Yeah, they say they like to do that to wear teams down, but on the other end of this, on the floor, Gavin, Dyett, they're a team that had the players from them ran 10 miles a lot of days during the offseason. They ran with the cross-country team as we get a foul on the shot. Devin Shelton went up and drew some contact. But this Dyett team is also conditioned very, very well. And they're a team that can run with Manual pretty much all game long. So maybe that speed advantage, that gas in the tank, Dyett might be able to match that here today.
Yeah, I think that they will. You know, they seem like a very athletic team, and Manual probably has had that advantage a number of times as the first free throw goes in. But Manual probably was more athletic than a lot of teams they played. Again, now kind of getting a taste of their own medicine, so to speak. Not that means Manual's down and out of it, but they're certainly going to have a bit of a tougher test, kind of facing themselves in a way.
The first free throw is good from Devin Shelton, and the second one is also good. 5-0 Dyett here, 4:30 to go in the first quarter. Tony Bradford off the bench and into the game for the Rams, 6'3" junior guard. Here's Richardson crossing over, pulling up. That one missed badly off the left rim, and another rebound for Dyett. That one went to Shelton.
Felt a little forced there. Just got to settle in for some better sets.
Active hands, and Rams take it away. Pulls away, behind the back move in transition. Feeds up to Humbles. Lots of contact, no foul. Richardson gets the offensive board, puts it up, and he gets fouled. So now Manual has a chance to get their first points on the board with 4:01 to go in the first quarter.
I thought Humbles got fouled personally. It looked like a lot of contact. They let go. Richardson was there and probably got the foul call on a little less contact, you know, however you want to call that one out there. But Richardson takes the lid off the basket with the first free throw. That's exactly what they needed. We'll have immediate timeout after the 4-minute mark. So get the lid off and get Manual going here late in the first quarter.
Manual 0 for 6 for their first field goals. And Richardson knocks them both down, makes it 5-2. And Gavin, it looks like they're going to call the immediate timeout here. 4:01 to go here in the first quarter. Again, Jonathan Michael here alongside with Gavin Russell. And, you know, just the similarities between these teams run so deep. Dyett, also a team that goes 9 or 10 deep, has lots of senior leadership. And Manual, again, they have a lot of seniors too as well. Richardson, Page, Breedlove. They even have more DJ Finley in street clothes today. Obviously, he's hurt, so that was a big player for the Rams. They've had to kind of overcome the loss of him. They've also had to overcome Dedrick Richardson, missing about a quarter of the season back before Christmas with a bruised tailbone. So a Manual team has really overcame a lot to get here to this point.
Yeah, they've had a lot of adversity, but I think you like that throughout the year. And you go back to last year, you know, some adversity, lost the game that, you know, they were up and they let a comeback happen against Macomb. Of course, got their revenge this season, John, in the playoffs, but nevertheless, you know, that's something they've kind of had a chip on their shoulder since last year, and it's definitely proven, as head coach Marvin Jordan said, that was kind of the first log they threw in the fire, so to speak, to get the guys going, and it's probably still something they talk about. So just got to play all 32 minutes in a ball game. Doesn't matter who's out there. You just got to step up and play with the 5 brothers that are in black jerseys today.
And one of the main things that Marvin Jordan has said, you know, about this Manual team that makes them so good and why they've been able to make this run is because they have been really, really going hard in practice. That started last year after that loss to Macomb, and also just this year too over the offseason. A lot of these guys, not all of them, but a lot of these guys are basketball-only players, so they just hoop 24/7, 365. And I mean, that's what Manual's known for, is just basketball year-round pretty much. And again, it really helps when you have guys, you have a good depth, because you can have, you know, 9 to 10 guys. Marvin Jordan, a former player at Niagara, even plays in the practices sometimes as well. But, you know, again, when you have 9, 10 competitive guys, you can go 5-on-5, and against some very good players that are really going to benefit you. Kind of the iron sharpens iron mentality.
Got to have that, and you just got to practice well and play well. See if the Rams can get something going on offense. No field goals yet. They get a steal.
They're a little bit of a double-team trap at half court. Out the other way, Jaquan Brown for 3 in the corner is no good. Another rebound for the Eagles. They lob it up, and Brown steals away right in front of us. Postlethwaite now brings it up. Manual can tie it or make it a 1-point deficit. Postlethwaite's shot off the window, and back to the Eagles. They had it poked away again. How about Manual's active hands?
3 straight steals. This is what they do best. Just got to score.
Richardson feeds Bradford on the baseline. He gives it up to Brown. He turns around and lays it in. Good ball movement and better defense for Manual here, and it's back to a 1-point game.
At long last, they finally get one to go. All started by some turnovers. Manual really kicking up the defensive pressure.
And they nearly got another one there. Dedrick Richardson came in and nearly took it away from Jameer Brown, that bench player for Dyett. You mentioned Gavin, 6-foot junior guard. Richardson almost came away with it, but that will be the third foul on Manuel this first quarter.
Yeah, got to keep Richardson out of foul trouble. That's a guy that he's not coming out of the game unless he's in foul trouble, so don't want to let the senior pick up too many early.
No one with 2 fouls so far. Here's a drive and a layup. Up and in for Ricky Coleman. Really got up there on that one.
He drove on Dietrich Richardson, and Richardson kind of pulled off knowing he didn't want to get a second foul really quick.
That'd be a small factor to watch. Maybe Dyett attacks Dietrich. Humbles drives into the lane. Got the layup to go, but they're going to call a foul on Humbles.
I'm not so sure how that's even possible. I mean, it looks like he sidestepped him, and he flew in the air. I didn't see that one happening, but guess we can't change the outcome, and back to Dyett.
So offensive foul there on Humbles. It's going to have to just put your head down and move on to the next play for Manuel. They bring out a 1-2-2 press. Brown up here at the top. Dyett still needs to get it across the timeline, and they do. Lots of pressure there. There's 3 Rams, 1 Eagle, and the Rams come away with it. Here's Page in transition. 2-on-1. He got walloped on the way up, and he'll head to the line for 2.
Yeah, they deserve that one for sure, and what a nice play there by Postlethwaite. Triple team, though. It's every black jersey for Manuel is hovering towards the basketball. So when you do the little things, you get those extra effort plays. You don't need to have the best shooting day. You know, you don't have to have the best offense, but sometimes those hustle plays can win you ball games.
So it's Page to the line for Manuel. First one rattles in. Page is arguably the number 2 guy on this Manuel team besides Richardson. He's number 2 in scoring, number 2 in rebounds. Starter for this team last year. And he's been a key piece, cornerstone for the Rams in his 4 years. Second one is good. Back to a 1-point game. 2:17 to go here, and Dyett brings it up in the first quarter.
Dyett hasn't had many offensive sets in the last couple minutes, so they definitely need to change that.
Here's a nice cut, and the layup up and good. Ricky Coleman. And a turnover for Manuel. I didn't see who that was that stole the inbound. But a foul occurred. That was Coleman, the 6'3" senior wing, using his length to get out and pull a fast one on the Rams.
Yeah, I think Dietrich Richardson just wasn't looking. He was kind of looking up the court, and then right behind him was the Dyett player to just kind of pick his pocket. So unfortunate stretch there as Manuel looked like they were starting to pull some momentum. But now back to the line. Dyett's been to the line a few times tonight already.
So Coleman knocks down the first. He's got 5 of Dyett's 10 points so far. Again, it's been a cold start to the field for Manuel. 1 for 9 so far. Dyett 3 for 6. As Coleman slows, shoots, nothing but nylon. 11-6 Eagles. It's a nice little 4-0 mini run there for Dyett. Manuel looking for a response. Postlethwaite across the timeline, skips it over. Bradford feeding it Brown, down by the block, off the glass and in.
Yeah, they just got to find more shots like that. Second field goal of the ball game, and I think Manuel's just starting to find those gaps enough to get some more points.
Manuel loves to spread the floor. They like to space it out. We saw so many baseline cuts open for them in that Monday super sectional win over Williamsville. Here's a drive from Aramis Brown. He'll kick out back to, that's Brown at the top of the key. He'll drive in, and Jaquan Brown, should clarify, tried to draw the charge for Manuel, but Jameer Brown for Dyett will head to the line. They're going to call that one a blocking call. That's 5 on the Rams in this first quarter.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, John. I mean, looked like not even close to what the charge was on the other end. Looked a lot more straight up, but perhaps was falling backwards a little bit too early. And this is now the 7th and 8th free throws that'll be shot here by Dyett.
And they've gone 6 for 7 so far. Free throws, Gavin, so crucial in the playoffs. And again, these teams are here because they've been able to make their free throws in some close games. Dyett maybe a little bit more close games than Manual on their way here, but Manual also shoots free throws well too. Richardson driving in, drawing contact, and he'll head to the line for two, as looks like that was, I believe, Shelton picking up that one for Dyett. That's 3 on them in this first quarter.
Yeah, Dietrich Richardson's really good at that. You know, even if he doesn't have much space, he gets in there and kind of makes you foul him. You know, you talk about drawing fouls as kind of a skill, and it really is. Dietrich Richardson has that ability, and he makes the first free throw there. So he's cashed in a few times from the line already.
That one takes a full trip around the rim before going down. Rams try and get this back to a 2-point game. And Gavin, you know, in a game where you expect both teams to try and get out and run a lot of kind of a track meet feel to it, it's kind of been slowed down a little bit because of these free throws. The pace is kind of just
hit the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, hit the brakes, exactly. Here's Jacob Johnson, a 6'5" junior forward into the game for Dyett. And he passes it out of bounds, so we'll go back to the Rams here. 48.7 to go here in the first quarter. Rams have trailed all the way through so far as Bradford brings it up, wearing number 10 for the Rams. Bradford, the son of rapper Montana of 300, whose birth name is also Tony Bradford as well. Dietrich Richardson trapped along the baseline, kicks out. Page will dial one up from distance off the bank, and it almost went down, but no good.
Bank's not open this late, apparently.
And it's a Friday. The tellers all want to go home.
Oh, it's only Thursday, John.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. The schedule change here for the state finals. We're used to being here on Friday. Missed shot for Dyett. And Shelton brings it back in. Wide open layup for Jacob Johnson. And Dyett will take a 4-point lead unless Bradford can convert from half court. No, he cannot. A little of a wild end of the quarter there, but Dyett leads 14-10 after a layup from Jacob Johnson. Is wide open in the paint.
Yeah, that was just a miscue there by Manuel. They had Dietrich Richardson cherry picking wide open on the other end, but again, just got a little bit ahead of themselves, and turnovers have set both teams back quite a bit. 6 turnovers for Dyett in the first quarter, 5 for Manuel, so probably going to be an emphasis in both huddles is take care of the basketball. You're just hurting yourself. Manuel has had a few more field goal opportunities, but currently Dyett shooting better from the field, 4 of 8, as they lead by 4.
It's been a fun one so far. We'll take a quick break here on ClutchSportsIL.com and be right back for quarter number 2 between Manual and Dyett.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Illinois for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Back here inside the SFHC, the SFC. I always think the SFHC, I think the State Farm Holiday Classic, an acronym we commonly use at Clutch Sports Media, but no, this is just the farm, as we call it, down in Champaign. Dyett leads Manual 14-10 after the first quarter of action. And Gavin, a lot of fouls called in that first quarter. Manual's got 2 guys with 2 fouls here so far.
Yeah, that's something to keep a note of. Josh Humbles and Brown both have 2 fouls for the Rams. A couple fouls also on the other side as McKinnon has 2 fouls also. So something to keep close tabs on. I think Dietrich Richardson, who has 1 foul, was certainly keeping in mind he didn't want to grab a second foul as well. That'll definitely come into play later in the game, but you can kind of keep that out of your mind right now. It's way too early to really be honing in on that. I think for Manual, just got to clean up the turnovers a little bit. They had a couple of good looks in the paint, just weren't able to convert. So you get those jitters out of the way, you feel a little more comfortable here in the second quarter. We'll see if they can get some more buckets to drop.
And Manual's a team that likes to just play comfortable in the offensive end. On offense, Marvin Jordan says, we just like to keep it simple. Just find the open guy. You're able to do that with a lot of guards that can stretch the floor, can space things out, especially here on this college court here down at the University of Illinois. Manual starts the second quarter with the ball. Here's Richardson going up, and he gets fouled again. So he has done a phenomenal job, Gavin, of just getting to the line and getting those high percentage free throws, obviously.
Yeah, Jamal Gill, the Dyett coach, puts in Jacob Johnson, the 6'5 junior. So throws a little more size in the way of Dietrich Richardson, who is listed as the tallest player on either roster. Is the first free throw no good from Richardson.
That one rimmed all the way out for Dyett. A little bit of early foul trouble. Jaden McKinnon has got two fouls so far to go with 3 points. Richardson's second is up and rims out. Post away, nearly grabbed the board and deflected it off of an Eagle. And Tony Bradford quickly runs up to high-five him, and it'll stay Rams ball.
Yeah, you don't like missing free throws, but kind of silver lining here, you still get another shot at getting some points.
Bradford inbounds it to Caden Latta, number 32 into the game. He tried to bounce pass to Breedlove, and it was taken away by Aramis Brown. Another turnover for the Rams. Been a key component for both squads so far. Here's Devin Shilton trying to feed it in to Johnson, the 6'5 forward. Turnaround, Dirk-looking shot is no good. Richardson speeds back up, kicks it. Bradford a deep two, comes up short. Richardson nearly saved it. He did. Refs take a while to make that call.
And there's a shot there from Bradford, and I think he was a little farther back than he realized. Again, got 2 3-point lines here. One's the college line, and he was definitely a little short on that three.
So here's Latta from 3. That one rims out. Breedlove comes soaring in to grab the offensive board, but it's taken away as he falls to the ground, and Dyett now brings it across half court. Here's Aramis Brown. Free throw line jumper over a jumping Bradford as a 6-point Eagles lead.
Haven't seen many jump shots today, but that was a nice looking one from the free throw line as Manual just a little sloppy as they turn it over once again, almost turn it over. Dyett can't handle the steal.
Yeah, Rams caught a break there. A pass, I think, that tried to go in, I believe, to Breedlove, deflected off of a fingertip off the backboard. Dyett caught it and then tried to push up the floor, but then went out of bounds. So it's Rams ball. Taj Tolliver into the game for the first time for Manual. He's a 5'8" sophomore guard, one of the younger players on this Rams varsity squad. He's got it, feeds it over to Postal Wait. Now Richardson at the elbow, double teamed and stripped. That was Christian Lowe with the steal, and they're gonna call him for a travel as he hit the deck. Back to Rams basketball.
Yeah, he kind of rolled over with the ball, and that's gonna get you every time. But yeah, you gotta call that out. Richardson was posting up, and nobody called out that his pocket was about to get picked.
Tolliver looking to find somebody, and Breedlove can't corral it off his fingertips and out of bounds. Ball might be a little slippery right now, Gavin. Maybe some sweaty hands, some nerves setting in. Been tough for both of these teams to hang on to the pumpkin.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even 2 minutes into this second quarter, and they've already had 4 turnovers. So both ways, there's been a lot of turnovers and a foul. Nearly a steal, but it got a little bit too much of the arm. Both teams just got to settle down. I think that they're playing faster than they need to. Got to find your pace.
This game has been played in transition pretty much for about the last 3 or 4 minutes. Not really much half court for either of these squads recently as Dyett gets their offense set up. Here's a drive from Aramis Brown. Another free throw line jumper, no good. Brown thought he was fouled, puts his hands up in the air, and Richardson brings in the miss. Now crosses over, driving in, draws more contact, and they're gonna call a travel on Richardson.
I'm not so sure. Richardson's confused too. It looks like he just kind of slowed down his drive. You know, he's got big, long legs. He can take more exaggerated steps. I think the ref said he saw another extra step. We'll go with it.
Manual just 2 for 13 from the field to start so far. Dyett 5 for 11. Both teams 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Here's Christian Lowe the point guard for Dyett, handling it. He drives into the teeth of the Rams defense, and it's deflected out of bounds. It's still Dyett ball.
Yeah, for probably about as bad as Manual could have started out this game, and they're still in it. So definitely not over for the Rams if they can clean a couple things up.
I think you still got to feel good. Still within 6 so far. Rams try to get a jump ball as Page and Tolliver were double teaming an Eagle, but instead they're going to get another foul. That one goes on Tolliver, his first, team second.
Yeah, so now you got 6 different Manual players with at least 1 foul. 2 players have 2 fouls, so starting to stack up rather quickly.
Here's Jameer Brown crossing over on Breedlove. What a move. That shot came up well short though, but it was on a good line. That one would have drawn a big reaction from the Eagles fans if he could have knocked that one down. Here's Postal Weight driving in, playing human bullying. Knocks over a guy, and it's another charge for Dyett. Marvin Jordan can't believe it.
Wow, that's a really tough call on Postal Weight. It looks like he was just going down the lane and caught a body, maybe kind of lowered the shoulder just a little bit there. 50-50 call, flipped the coin, and this time it goes in Dyett's favor.
Daniel's been the victim of a couple really 50-50, we'll say, charge calls in this one, and they're starting to pile up.
Very generous.
I would certainly agree. Here's Dyett trying to bring it up. Manual bringing back a little bit of pressure. Not quite as much as they did earlier, though. They'll feed it into the lane, driving in. Johnson's layup was no good, and Page brings in the miss.
There's a lot more contact there. Didn't get a foul call that time. Manuel catches a break.
Richardson drives, kicks. Bradford's three is no good. Offensive board to Page. He drives in baseline. He goes flying up, and that one's also no good. 2-on-2 the other direction. Here comes Matthew Wilson. His layup is no good and rebounded by Breedlove. Now it's Tolliver. Back and forth we go, up to Bradford. His layup rattles home. First bucket for Manuel in a while. And they come away with a steal. Here's Page. He had it tipped away. Ball on the deck. There's a scrum at the free throw line. It's a jump ball, and that favors Dyett. Wow, what a sequence, Gavin.
I mean, just don't look away. Don't stop listening, because, I mean, every second is just got something going on. Bradford got the steal right after he got the score. Both teams, again, just playing way too quick. I like fast-paced, of course, John, but there's such thing as too fast.
Yep.
So I think that's where both of these teams are. I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if they're just trying to be more aggressive than the other. As a foul.
Before the inbound, and that one might go on the Rams, it appears. It'll go on Bradford. So that is number 1 on him. And number 4 of this second quarter, Gavin. 4:50 to go in the second, and Dyett's pretty much already in the bonus.
Yeah, there's a trio of Rams on the bench right now with 2 fouls. Postal Weight, Brown, and Humbles. That's definitely taking a hit right now, as Manuel may be going to the bench a little more than they're typically used to.
The key one, though, is Richardson. He's just got 1. As Dyett sets up a rare half-court look. Here's Shelton, a wild shot, and knocked it down. A runner from the elbow goes down.
Yeah, that was a really tough shot. He earned every bit of that 2 points. As Richardson nearly lost it, gets it back, though.
Pressure there from Christian Lowe. Richardson hits the deck, looking like a penguin out there. Page is on the deck as well. Here comes Dyett, driving in. Layup, up and good from Aramis Brown. It's 2012 Eagles with 4:13 to go. Marvin Jordan calls timeout. This Rams team just can't seem to hang on to the ball, and they can't seem to stay upright. A lot of Rams have been hitting the deck here in the last few minutes.
Yeah, I think his face kind of said it all. It was just kind of a dejected disappointment, not in his team's effort. It's just simply some things haven't gone their way. They've caught a couple of bad breaks. He knows they've been right there to turning the tide on this one. Just got to draw something up, get his team reined in a little bit. And I think that's the beauty in having a coach that's been here both as a player and a coach. You know, he played with 2 runner-up teams in his days with the Rams. He was an assistant coach on their 4th-place squad in 2019. So to have an experienced leader that can teach, that can help these guys through their emotions throughout the game is certainly invaluable. And Manuel definitely has that experience upside with their coaches.
Most definitely. Marvin Jordan in his 3rd year. He's done a phenomenal job with the Rams. Again, he said that taking over this program, it's kind of surreal. He said he feels like a dream come true. He said that coming out of college after his playing days wrapped up at Niagara University over in New York, far away from Peoria, he said that, he didn't really think about going into coaching, but he came back in those summer open gyms, making sure the guys were, working hard, trying to, work on their skills, get college scholarships. That's such a big thing at Manual, really for all of their athletic programs. A lot of football, basketball, a lot of guys trying to go on and play on the next level, and they do a great job of doing that. And he said that, while he was doing that, coming back over the summer, he said, you know what? I think I kind of like this. I like being around the team. I like being around Manual. I like being around Peoria. I want to stay here and coach this team. And that he did. And again, he's got experience being here as a player and now a coach as well. Look at Dyett on their side, Jamal Gill. He is in his 8th season. Gavin, what a story for him. Gill played as a walk-on at Illinois State. Then he, after graduating, he worked as an electrician for 15 years, stepped away from a well-paying job to become a high school basketball coach.
Yeah, he just wanted to make a difference in the lives of the kids, coaching a Chicago public school, obviously giving them an opportunity to have some good coaching. His father was a coach who unfortunately passed away before he got to see him coach a game, but certainly his father would definitely be proud of his efforts to get this school to where it's gotten, be proud to see Dyett in the state Final Four.
Jamal Gill, formerly at Chicago Hyde Park, the Thunderbirds, not too far from downtown in the Windy City. Rams ball here. 4 minutes left to play, and more active hands for the Eagles, but the Rams keep control of it. Bradford drives in, spinning pass, trying to get out to Tolliver. More bodies on the ground. We'll get another jump ball, and that one favors Dyett. Gavin, I thought the last one favored Dyett.
Oh, it certainly did. I don't know how that's possible.
Marvin Jordan is pleading with the refs, saying, yeah, maybe I'm mistaken, or maybe something got me wrong, but I thought the last jump ball went to Dyett.
No, yeah, it certainly did. That is, I'm not sure how that happens at the state finals. That is definitely an egregious error on whoever's part for that one.
And unless we miss something here in the booth, but Tolliver pokes it away. A lot of active hands for both these squads. 3:35 to go in the second. Here's Aramis Brown driving, kicking to Shelton. A nice-looking mid-range shot that came up short, and Breedlove brings in the miss. Tolliver up to Richardson. Inside the arc, Breedlove will settle for a one-handed floater near the free throw line and got it to go.
They just need to stack a few more of those, grab a little bit of confidence. This is well within reach. There's a lot of time left in this ball game, but Manual needs to just kind of flex their muscle here in the last 3 minutes. 3 to go in the first half.
There's a drive-in kick, corner three ball on the way is no good. Good box out from Tony Bradford and taps it up to Richardson. Euro steps in, muscles one up and lays it in. What a move from Dietrich Richardson.
Probably could have gotten an and one, but great way to follow through on the finish. He's so good around the rim, and here come the Rams.
Richardson's got 6. 4 of them have come from the line. Here's a matchup with Richardson and Aramis Brown, both wearing number 11 for their respective squads. Now Shelton, guarded by Bradford. Manual in their trademark man-to-man defense. They play it pretty much 24/7 unless they're in a press. 3 ball on the way, rims all the way around, and no good from McKinnon. Here comes Manual with a chance to make it a one-score game. Breedlove, another one-handed push shot from the elbow goes down. It's a 6-0 Rams run. Timeout, Dyett.
And you hear the Peoria faithful gets fired up. It's a Thursday, but a lot of Rams fans made the trip down. A lot of orange behind us, to our right, in front of us. Gotta love the support from the Peoria area, and I know that probably most Peoria teams and fans are behind the Rams here this weekend.
Yeah, most definitely. I talked with Marvin Jordan on Monday night, said, hey, 3 teams in Peoria, in the actual city, Peoria proper, playing for a state title or state berth. Obviously, Peoria High fell a little short against Brother Rice up in Class 3A, but again, I think during the season, Richwoods, Manual, Peoria High, all bitter rivals, and those games just have so much intensity. We've been to so many of those games over the years, Gavin. They're always so fun, but come playoff time when teams start to be eliminated, I think everyone just kind of wants to see Peoria succeed. So I'm sure that the Lions, the Knights, Peoria, Notre Dame even, even all the towns around Peoria, I think, are supporting these Rams here this weekend in Champaign.
It's Peoria basketball, that's what it is. And the Rams, there's a lot of great teams that have come through Peoria, but the Rams are at the center of that. They're the core of Peoria basketball just throughout history. Great to see them back on the big stage.
They have had some of the most state bursts in state history among any school around Illinois. This is their 24th state berth. Good defense here for the Rams, trying to lock up Jaden McKinnon. Now here's Tolliver up top, guarding Makai Harris. Two smaller guards battle near the half-court line, and Rams cover to their feet. This is a phenomenal defense. Here's a takeaway from Page. Fast break, fouled hard from behind by Ricky Coleman, and Page will be rewarded for his defensive efforts with 2 free throws and a chance to tie it up.
I think for a second there he was thinking, can I dunk this basketball? Because I think it would have just ignited a bomb of Rams fans to just go wild. But nevertheless, he'll set her for a trip to the line, and equally big to draw a foul. That's starting to come into play as we get throughout this ball game. 2 big free throws.
Rams on a 6-0 run here over the last 97 seconds. First one goes down for Terrence Page. He's got 3 points. And Manual, they can get shots to go from the floor, Gavin. They're 4 of their last 4 so far. So it's just a matter of being able to hang on to the ball and get past this very tricky Dyett defense. Second free throw is no good, as we got a whistle there as that one missed.
Lane violation, as I think Page knew it was going to be short. Crossed over the line a little bit too early. The right call. Manual just down 1 though, as they've definitely got the momentum right now, and definitely that's something you want to take into halftime if you're Marvin Jordan.
They bring the full court press. 1:40 to go in the second quarter. Dyett 20, Manual 19. Rams making a little bit of a push here to make it close going into the intermission. Here's Shelton kicking over. Ramus Brown inside the arc, guarded tightly by Richardson, who's just all over a 6'2" senior. Now right in front of us, here's McKinnon back in the game with 2 fouls, driving in on Breedlove. He's in some trouble. A nice feed and the layup, no good. Up and under, Ramus Brown couldn't quite get it to go.
Amari Breedlove, standout defense on that last play.
Page on the other end drives in. He might have dragged his foot. He got the layup to go off the glass and in, but I think he dragged his foot there. It's back to Dyett ball.
Yeah, that's tough for there. He definitely did drag his foot. Good travel call, but just a tough break because you get the stop on the other end. You've been on this run. You cut the lead down to 1 for Dyett. As there's some discussion here on the bench. I think
Breedlove might have gotten cut up a little bit. He'll check out.
Might have bloody nose or something.
Well, Gavin, we saw in the sectional title game between Peoria High and Metamora, you see LaShawn Stowers had 2 nose plugs in there with a bloody nose. Baseball pass inbound is stolen away by Page. Rams bring it out with Richardson. Finds the cutting Bradford. Manuel's got the lead.
What a turnaround from the Rams with under a minute to play. Big defensive set here for the Rams as they try to keep the lead.
That was a bit of an ill-advised inbounds pass, trying to hit the home run, and they struck out. Led to a fast break opportunity for Manuel. Bradford laid it in. Now with 38 seconds to go. Manuel turning up the intensity. Bradford steals it away.
How about Bradford's play here in the first half? He has been so big for the Rams.
Page hopping into the lane. Richardson elevates. Free throw line, no good. Rebound tipped back out to Terrence Page. He'll drive in. Nearly a double dribble. And Page walked again that time. A little bit of an awkward play there for the senior forward, who gets helped up to his feet by Dietrich Richardson.
Yeah, I think he just had nowhere to go with it, so he tried to make a move towards the hoop and took a couple extra steps. But one last go at it for Dyett, assuming they don't turn it over, which is far from a certainty, John, because we've seen a lot of turnovers here in the first half.
Especially with this press that Manuel is bringing here for this last possession. 18 seconds to play. It's Shilton bringing it up with Jaquan Brown defending. He is an intense defender. Here's Coleman driving in on Brown. Layup, awkward, no good. 5 seconds to go. Richardson with 3. Speeding up the floor, driving in. Blocked from behind. Lotta got the rebound. Will they count it?
They counted it.
I think they got it to fall. Now they might. discuss this one. Richardson's shot was swatted away. Lana was right there, put it up with one hand, and fell into the net. That was very close, Gavin, and the referees are still discussing it.
Personally, I don't think he got it off in time. I think he was maybe a 0.2, 0.3 late. No basket.
No basket.
I didn't think he got it. So seems like the right call to me. But nevertheless, Manual ends the half with the lead on a 9-0 run. What a change for the Rams. That's not going to stop the momentum whatsoever. I think the refs got that one right.
Yeah, that one was pretty close. I think it might have been just a fraction of a second after it hit zero. Now, obviously, you can't review it in high school. Even though we're here at state, the fans can look up on the Jumbotron to see it, but the referees cannot do an official review because why would you be able to do one at state if you can't do one during the regular season?
Sure.
It sounds unfair. And there's been some controversies in terms of clock management, especially in the IHSA playoffs. You remember what happened in that Waukegan Rockford Guilford game?
Yeah.
0.9 on the clock. That was a crazy situation.
No doubt. I mean, it's going to take social media by storm. We have to remember what level we're at. Not every school has the capabilities for, certain types of reviews and clocks and things. So got to keep it across the board, got to keep it the same. But yeah, great way for Manual to end the half. They did everything that they needed to do right there, and I think that they're starting to find that rhythm. They finally found some field goals, and they're capitalizing now on the turnovers. They have 9 points off of Dyett turnovers.
And they have 9 straight points to give them a 21-20 lead here at halftime of Thursday's Class 2A state semifinal. It's been a fun one so far. Alongside Gavin Russell, again, I'm Jonathan Michael. Glad you're tuned in here on CSM. We'll break down the first half numbers and talk more hoops after this on ClutchSportsIL.com.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the IHSA, are the 333,000 high school sports and performing arts students in Illinois. And so, we stand. We stand for the runners, debate team members, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, officials, and adjudicators. We stand for the drummers, football players, and actors. We stand for the golfers, singers, and swimmers. We stand as the national leader and advocate for these essential activities and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Illinois for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Illinois. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Back here at the State Farm Center in Champaign, halftime of Manual and Dyett. Rams lead it by the slimmest of margins so far here in Champaign. And Gavin, it's been a fun day of basketball. This is the second 2A semifinal, the fourth game of the state finals. We got plenty more coming. later on today. Obviously, this is the last game of the day involving a Peoria area team. Let's take a look at what's happened in these earlier games in 1A action. Chicago Hope Academy beating Effingham St. Anthony 56-50. Eastland beating Peoria Christian 55-35. Chargers, big cornerstone for them is knocking on the 3-ball, but they were 4 of 29 from deep in that one. Just couldn't quite get it going, but they'll play for third tomorrow against St. Anthony here at 9:30 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, either way, whether or not they bring home a third-place trophy, still a great season for Peoria Christian. Just to get to this Final Four, is something really special. That there's a lot of teams in each class, and to be among the best 4 in the state is a special moment for the Chargers.
And the first, again, 2A semifinal, Belleville-Althoff defeating Chicago Christ the King 60-45 in the first semi. So the winner will face Althoff on Saturday at 3 p.m., and the loser will face Christ the King tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. And back to Peoria Christian. Already got a story up about their game and also a feature from them. And also one about the Manual Rams. We'll have more coverage coming from their game too. Again, on Clutch Sports Media Overtime. It's the home of the stories and schools that you care about in Central Illinois. Subscribe today. So much written content, Gavin. We actually just the other day wrote our 1,000th story in the history of CSM Overtime. And again, did that in just over a year and a half or so. So again, lots of content coming all throughout the season, all throughout the entire year, really. All high school sports in Peoria and Bloomington Normal area. Definitely want to subscribe today. And you can scan that QR code on your screen or visit clutchsportsil.com/overtime. Great time to do so, especially if you're a fan of the spring sports coming out with baseball, softball, girls soccer, track and field, lots of others coming up here right around the corner.
Yeah, I've been trying to fit in around some preparations for the state basketball tournament, trying to get in touch with some coaches from the baseball and softball side, and they're eager to have us come out. So if you're a baseball or softball fan, or if you have an athlete, or if you're a parent or a family member, anybody, really, we got the best coverage. And I got to say, CSM Overtime, prior to Clutch becoming a thing, I was always looking for some coverage of all the different sports and every single team, and you just didn't really have that much before. So to have it now is really special. Definitely something to take a look at if you're interested in high school sports.
Trust us, we have eyes and ears on every school and every team in the area. That is for certain. Again, subscribe today, clutchsportsil.com/overtime. Gavin, let's talk about some first half stats. Why don't we? Start with the big ones, the shooting percentages. Manuel, 7 for 22. That's 32%. Dyett, 7 for 21. So the Rams overcoming a cold start to the field. They were just 1 for 9 in the first quarter. However, they're 0 for 4 from deep. Dyett is 0 for 5 from deep, so we haven't even seen a three-pointer in this one so far.
No, they've taken a few shots, a couple of good looks, but largely just not able to find, decent shots at it. A little bit short, a little bit long. They're trying to feel out the range. Again, I expect a little more in the second half, but we see how deep both of these teams are. You've got 5 different scores for Manuel, including 4 of those have scored, more than one time. And then as for Dyett, you've got 6 different players in the score sheet for them. So it's, again, not a one-trick pony either way. Even amidst the little foul trouble, you got McKinnon with a couple fouls. You got Coleman with a couple fouls for the Eagles. The other way for the Rams, they have 3 players with 2 fouls. Got to adjust a little bit, got to find other guys that can step up. They certainly have done that, but what a way to end that first half. Manuel found the spark, went on a 9-0 run. They were down 20-12, called a timeout, found their rhythm, and looked a lot more comfortable in that last 3 minutes.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about Manuel's scores, Gavin, there were 5 players that all had 6 or more points in that super sectional win. A butt whooping, we could say, against Williamsville, 52-29. Rams started that one on a 20-0 run. Not quite the same story here today, but again, they still hold the lead. Dietrich Richardson leads the way with 6. Jaquan Brown and Amari Breedlove and Tony Bradford all with 4. Terrence Page with 3 to go with 6 rebounds. And how about Breedlove? 7 rebounds. Richardson with 6 boards. Manuel is killing Dyett on the glass. They're now 24-8, Gavin.
Yeah, I was just going to make that point, John. Again, every player in a black jersey is just gravitating towards the ball. It doesn't matter where it is. They're diving for the loose balls. They're tipping out rebounds. They're doing the little things. Even though the turnovers have been a bit chaotic for the Rams, they're still making those hustle plays. They're forcing turnovers of their own and, again, crashing the glass, which if you don't get on the glass, that can cost you your season right there. So the Rams doing the little things. If they start hitting a few shots, this game could be theirs to lose.
And free throws, very big factor in this physical game. Manuel 7 of 10 from the stripe. Dyett is 6 of 8. Look at turnovers. Manuel with 15, Dyett with 11. Those are usually your end of game final stats for turnovers, but I really say that, again, that's really more so about speaks to both defenses rather than both offense. I mean, these two teams are just flying all over the place. Yeah, maybe there's a couple turnovers that are preventable, but there have been just so many good passing lanes that have been read, and active hands, a lot of tie-ups, bodies hitting the deck, jump balls, you name it. So again, that's going to be a big key, obviously, in this second half, because Manuel got back into that game. This game with 9-0 run because of those turnovers that they were able to face.
Yeah, I think it had Manual football coach Dennis Bailey wishing a few of these guys would have played corner and safety for him. They've had some interceptions, just ball hawking out here, and similarly with Dyett, they're just reading the passes. I'm really watching Dietrich Richardson on the defensive side, just looking at him when he's standing around off the ball. He's constantly surveying. He has his eyes everywhere, and he just kind of has that sixth sense, that spidey sense, if you will. So that's why he's a special player. He can get it done on both sides. Marvin Jordan called Dietrich Richardson the offensive catalyst, but he's a leader on both ends of the floor. So you got to have guys like that, and I think it's paid dividends for the Rams. You just got to clean up on your own side, maybe try to pull away in the second half.
And look at some of the specialty stats. Manuel leads Dyett 8-0 in offensive rebounds. Manuel has the only second chance bucket of this one. They lead 8-3 in bench points. They've outscored Dyett 12-10 in the paint. They've outscored them 7-4 on the fast break. And they have 9 steals to their 7-4 assists to 2 from Dyett. About 1:30 to go here before the second half gets started. We'll take another quick break here on ClutchSportsIL.com and come right back with the second half. It's been a good one between Manuel and Dyett from Champaign. Right back after these messages.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the IHSA, are the 333,000 high school sports and performing arts students in Illinois. And so, we stand. We stand for the runners, debate team members, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, officials, and adjudicators. We stand for the drummers, football players, and actors. We stand for the golfers, singers, and swimmers. We stand as the national leader and advocate for these essential activities and all who participate in them and make them possible, because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
Welcome back to Champaign. Second half right around the corner here between Manuel and Dyett. And Gavin, you saw just earlier, Sergio McLean, distinguished alumni for Manuel there on the Rams bench. He has helped out, it's kind of an advisory role here for the Rams, and always good to see him back. And he didn't have to go very far. He lives down here in Champaign, so he gets to see the Rams right here in his own backyard.
Was just going to say, right in his backyard, and what a special guy to have helping you out, advising these players. He's been on a lot of big stages, kind of carrying on that tradition of his father, Wayne McLean, who was a fantastic coach here at the U of I, and of course for Manuel. So special tradition with the Rams, and they want a special second half to try and propel them to a state chip.
And they'll start the second half with the ball. Here's Postal Wade over to Humbles. Now over to Breedlove there on the corner, and active hands, nearly a takeaway. Breedlove almost comes flying into our living room here, almost knocked over our table as Ricky Coleman nearly got the steal there for Dyett.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that one, John. I need to tighten up my guard on the players coming our direction. We're usually sitting a lot farther away from the court, so got to adjust to my environment as well.
Humbles will inbound it. He's looking for Breedlove. Now back to Humbles. Nearly lost it out free throw line, and back out to Postal Wade. Set things up. Rams go around the arc. Richardson scans, finds Breedlove. Now Humbles back to Richardson, down in the paint, puts it up, no good. Second chance is up and good.
Yeah.
11-0 Rams run.
Big start there. Richardson on a back cut was wide open, didn't get the first time to go, but again, they're following every single shot.
9 offensive boards for the Rams so far. Dyett trying to respond. Jumper is up and good from Aramis Brown.
And when they've been getting those free throw line jumpers, they've converted probably 2 or 3 times. Haven't had many open looks, but the Rams don't want to leave that open too often.
First minute gone by here in the third quarter. It's Postal Wade up top, guarded by Devin Shelton. Shelton standing at 6'1", but he is jacked. Richardson puts up a 3, and that one's off the mark. Now up the floor, McKinnon driving in, blocked away by Page. Came flying in for that swat. Now it's Humbles the other direction. He'll calm things down. Manuel playing a lot slower here in the second half, Gavin.
They just look more comfortable. You know, they're calling out plays, they're getting set up. That was the key, patience.
Page feeds Postal Wade. He'll elevate from the left elbow, rims out. Page nearly brought in that board, and it's back to Dyett. There's been a lot of hesitation on some of these out-of-bounds calls. I don't know if that ref really knew initially what the call was to make, as Page nearly tipped it off of an eagle.
Yeah, again, a very close call. Maybe if we had reviews, it would be a little bit different, but we're going to go with it. Back to Dyett.
Taking it across half court. There's a double team from Page and Postal Wade. Now spinning and driving is Coleman, kicking out. McKinnon's 3 rattles out. We still haven't seen a 3-ball yet for either squad. Richardson tried to feed Humbles and take it away by Coleman. Baseball pass up to Shelton. Postal Wade tried to get it. Layup up and good from McKinnon, and Dyett's got the lead right back.
And the steal came from Dietrich Richardson. He gave it away, but a lot of contact there, maybe a reach in that wasn't called. As Dyett gets away with one and capitalizes on the other end, they take the lead again.
More active hands. Aramis Brown coming in from out of nowhere to tip that one. It'll stay with the Rams. Gavin, I briefly saw this earlier, but how about Dyett? They brought their actual mascot, an eagle, suited up there next to their student section.
I'm disappointed that the Ram didn't make the trip. I know Manuel's got that mascot.
Yeah, the Rams are one of the only schools in the Peoria area that has a actual mascot suit. I have to try and get him back down here for the next one. Richardson gets dirt down and dirty in the paint and converts an and one.
Great body control. Got smacked in the face, and he threw it up and in. As we've kind of gone trading buckets here now, the offenses look a little more competent, less turnovers, and I think we're going to see a lot more scoring in the second half.
Richardson, the first player on either side to reach double figures. He's got 10, and he'll stay that way. Free throw rattled out. 5:15 to go here, and Manuel leads 25-24. Eagles now going right to left. Manuel going left to right now. Here's a 3-ball. McKinnon left wide open. That one came up well short. I think his legs didn't quite give him the power he needed to on that one.
Little confusion, though, for the Rams. That was a breakdown. He was wide open.
Richardson feeds Humble, shot fake. Got Shelton in the air. Now it's over to Richardson. Euro stepping, puts it up with one hand. No good. Brown wrestled it away, but he stepped out of bounds, and it's back to Eagles ball.
Yeah, lots of traffic right under the basket, and he had his foot right on that line when he caught the basketball. So a turnover there. Both teams have been catching some breaks. It looks like there's been moments where both teams have had chances to pull away if they could knock a couple shots down, but not the case. And I think now Manuel might have a zone look.
Yeah, they might have. Yeah, it appears they do. A little bit of it's kind of a 2-3 look. 3-ball on the way. McKinnon knocks down that one. And there's our first 3 with about 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Dyett now by 2, 27-25. Here's Richardson. Guarded tightly there by Jacob Johnson. 6'5" versus 6'7". Richardson muscles one up and in, and we got another tie game.
He's feeling it now, folks. Dietrich Richardson is locked in, and he's now starting to find his range there from the paint.
Richardson Leadership stands out according to Marvin Jordan, and that 3 ball's now starting to stand out for Dyett. They get a corner 1 to go from Aramis Brown Jr., and there's a timeout on the floor here with 3:50 to go.
I know what they're doing there, John. You know, they're trying to make Dyett make the threes because neither team had made a 3 up to this point in the game. But now Dyett's nailed a couple, and they might have found that range. So maybe time to go back to man-to-man as it'll be a full timeout. They'll get a chance to discuss things for a little longer.
And again, Aramis Brown knocked the latest one down, but again, you cannot leave Jaden McKinnon, number 13, open for Dyett. Jamal Gill, their head coach, said he is, quote, a deadly shooter. He said he's been off a bit for the last couple of games, but is, always a guy you need to respect. And again, you never know what's going to happen in those state games. You can't afford to let the guy who maybe is at the top of your scouting report burn you in these big games.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I think both these teams have guys like that where, you just got to go deep into that book of tricks. And it can be anybody that can step up at any point. Again, guys, you may not always think about first, Caden Latta, Taj Tolliver. You just don't know when they could come out and kill you. And same thing with Dyett. So it's time for both teams to just lock in, and you got to focus on your assignments. I'd be surprised if the Rams still come out with that zone look. I think the man-to-man was working reasonably well. Because the Rams' defense looked pretty good. It was more the offense kind of shooting themselves in the foot. But, yeah, this is what these timeouts are an opportunity for. And I like to have the media timeouts, here at the state level. I think it adds a little layer to the coaching. It gives these coaches a couple more opportunities to really nail into their teams what they want to see on the floor, draw up some extra plays, and I think it really highlights the coaching battles as well. And we've got 2 great ones here, Jamal Gill and Marvin Jordan.
And everything just a little bit different here at state. The arena's a lot bigger, but again, Manual used to play in college arenas. They played Joliet West up at Welsh Ryan Arena up in Evanston, Illinois, home of the Northwestern Wildcats earlier in the year. They also went to Columbia, Missouri to play Eugene from Missouri earlier in the year. So the Rams just played such as a meat grinder of a schedule, Gavin. They only played 2 2A schools all season before the playoffs as Humboldt drives in and shoots a deep 2, and that one's no good. Ball's on the deck. Brown and an Eagle are fighting for it. We get a jump, and that will favor Dyett.
Jump ball, possession, Eagle.
All the jump balls have gone Dyett's way today.
Well, that one was rightfully
that
theirs.
One was correct.
Because
yes.
it was Manuel's to end the second, and it switches at the end of each quarter.
Of course,
so that
yes.
was, but there was one time in the first half where I weren't quite sure if it should have gone back to the Eagles or not. Here's Jaden McKinnon bringing it up the floor. Nearly lost his footing there. And we get a foul there on Jaquan Brown. Again, that's going to be number 3 for him. And that one, I don't know if that was fully necessary. That was kind of close.
Yeah, a lot of 50-50 borderline calls today. Again, being very generous in the description. But I think you just got to play through. And they're leaving Brown on the floor. I think you definitely have to do that at this stage in the game.
And he's got 3. Both still waiting. Humboldt both have 2 for Manual. 3:10 to go. Dyett leading by 3 after 2 straight triples. Now here's Johnson, the big fella for the Eagles. Kicks it back out to Aramis Brown. He's been big here as of late. Got 9 points. He'll settle for a deep 3 on a good line, but no good. And the rebound goes to Reggie Postlethwaite.
Ooh, Rams caught a break right there. It looked like a good shot.
And they're going to say that Manual over and back, or was it a carry? Either way, it's the Rams' turnover.
They say over and back. I thought that Richardson had caught it as he gathered over the large eye there. But again, it's tough to call because you don't have that solid line all the way through the logo. And
yeah,
once again, a borderline call that just doesn't go in the Rams' favor.
Yeah, it's there's that half-court line is blue for about 2/3 of the way, 1/3 on each side, but in the middle where the orange eye is, it's kind of the line turns into white. Here's a layup, up and good from Jaden McKinnon. It's back to a 5-point Dyett advantage. And Rams need a response. They'll probably look Richardson's way, but here's Humboldt feeding it over to Postlethwaite, back up top. Humboldt spins, gets inside the arc, kicks over, good ball movement. Breedlove, corner 3. That one is no good. And the rebound will favor Dyett. Went out of bounds off of a Ram.
Terrence Page.
Hey, you gotta get off your knees, ref! We're blowing the game!
So Rams will set up their press here with Page, Postal Weight, Tolliver, and Humbles up in the front court. A double team Shelton up to McKinnon. Humbles got a hand on it, tosses it back across court, trying to save it. Richardson tried to save it in front of the Dyett bench, and he threw it off of an Eagle. What a play.
Wow, here, there, and everywhere. It went from the side of the court right in front of us to the side of the court with the benches, and somehow it ends up back with the Rams. What a play there from Richardson.
Richardson and stepping up big on the offensive and defensive sides here today. Got 12 boards and 8 rebounds already, tracking for a double-double. 1:50 to go. Postal Weight feeding over. They play catch down. Postal Weight steps, hops into the lane, up off the glass and in. Good look there from the junior guard. That's his first bucket. Here's McKinnon, back out to Shelton. Eagles looking for a response. Shelton flies into the lane and puts up a floater for 2.
Big responses so far from the Eagles.
And they feed Page on the baseline. Quickly up the floor. Page's shot. No good, and a great box out from Jacob Johnson of Dyett. They'll push it up to Jameer Brown. He drives in, and we get a foul on the Rams in the act of shooting.
Wow, what a big run here for Dyett. They just have been the more aggressive team, been able to capitalize on a couple more shots, and those 3-pointers are the difference right now. And now a couple of free throws is starting to put Manuel not on the ropes, so to speak, but it's putting some pressure.
Rams 0 for 6 from deep so far. Eagles 2 for 10. First one is up and good from Jameer Brown. And, you know, Gavin, Manuel hasn't played as many close games as Dyett has in the playoffs. Really, none of their games have really been that close. All of them decided by double figures. You got to wonder if late in crunch time, maybe might favor the Eagles a bit because they've grinded out some more of these postseason games here.
I'd agree if you've been there and done that. But remember, in the regular season, Manuel has been there quite a few times. Yes. So definitely not far from that either.
Yeah, they've come in and won a 9th straight, but before that, they lost 7 in a row. Postal Weight gets airmailed, comes flying in right in front of us. It's a Rams turnover. It's not crisp passes. They're not used to what we're seeing for the Rams, but back to what I was saying, the Rams lost 7 games in a row in between mid-January, early February, and a lot of those losses, all but one, came by single digits, many of them by just one possession.
Yeah, Marvin Jordan said that they don't do wins and losses. They do wins and learning opportunities. So they learned a lot for about 7 games there, but it certainly has made them a better team.
Said that they took away something different from each of those losses as Dyett draws another foul. That'll be the 3rd on the Rams here in the 3rd quarter with 40.3 ticks to go. And I think that one was in the act of shooting. So Shelton will shoot a pair.
Shelton at the line. Shooting 2.
Marvin Jordan not exactly thrilled with the last couple calls. He wanted a toe drag there for a possible travel, but they get the foul nonetheless. Starting to convert a little more at the line, and it's quietly just been a big run here for Dyett.
Yeah.
As they can go up 9 with one more free throw.
Our officials today, Christopher Mays, Brian Sorrell, Brian Kuffel, and Jeffrey Miles. Here as Dyett tries to make it a 9-point advantage. That one is off the back iron and rebounded by Richardson. Manuel trying to get some momentum here heading into the 4th, trailing by 8. Drive and a lost ball. Postal Weight lost it, and now the Eagles turn it right back over. So now Humbles will bring it across half court as we get a foul. That one going on Jacob Johnson, the 3rd for Dyett here in this 3rd quarter.
I think that was just not an intentional foul in a bad way, but I think they had a couple fouls to give and they didn't want Manuel to get a fast break opportunity. Manuel's got to score something here, though.
It's Bradford into the game. He's in the corner. Now feeds over Humbles, Postal Weight, pass fakes, hops into the lane, and great defense. That pass was stuffed by Jameer Brown. He drives in transition. Lamb was partially blocked, but the trailer is there, and it's Ramus Brown, and it's a 10-point Eagles lead. Now 5 seconds to go in the 3rd. Bradford drives. He's in trouble. Trying to find somebody. Marvin Jordan calls timeout with 1.5 to go. And how about this Dyett run, Gavin? 12-2 over the last 3 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yeah, Manual just doesn't look like they just have that extra gear right now. Not out of it yet. You know, you got a whole quarter to play, and a lot can change there, especially with the pace that both these teams are playing at, but not the ideal third quarter Manual was looking for, especially after the way they ended the first half.
And again, Manual led 21-20 at halftime. They have been outscored 19-8 here in this third quarter. How about Dyett? 7 of 12 shooting here in this frame, Gavin. And they've only committed 1 turnover, so they have taken a lot better care of the basketball here. Now, given there's been a lot of those crazy plays, too. You know, it's a turnover, then another turnover, then another one. But, again, I think their passing's been more crisp. Manual, a couple unforced errors that have come back to bite them here. And also, those 2 threes from Dyett have been huge here in this third.
Yeah, Manual still has not gotten a shot to go from three-point range, and they've only taken 2 shots this quarter from beyond the arc, but that's just not been their game today. And, you know, I really thought that's something they needed to do to try and get the win today. So barring a late turn-up from the Rams beyond the arc, this might go Dyett's way. Manual just, again, has to find that extra gear, and it would really go a long way if they can get a bucket here in the last 1.5 seconds as they're set to inbound.
Gotta drop something quick. It'll be Page to inbound it. Postal Wait, Tolliver, Richardson, Bradford on the floor. Humbles passes to Richardson and trying to get a look in the paint, and it was deflected away. It's a 10-point Dyett lead. Manual's got 8 points, or 8 minutes, I should say, to decide if they do or die in the IHSA Class 2A state finals. We'll be right back after this on ClutchSportsIL.com.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Illinois for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Illinois. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back inside the State Farm Center. Manual saw a 1-point halftime lead turn into a 10-point deficit here as they enter the fourth quarter. And Gavin, what do you think the Rams need to do to make the comeback here? Because it definitely still is possible. Still plenty of time left in this one.
I mean, as few turnovers as possible, and you just have to make shots. I mean, if you can just find the bottom of the net a couple more times than you've had, if you can find a couple of three-pointers, that's got to do it for you. You know, easier said than done, but I think it starts with cleaning up your turnovers, maximizing getting as many shots as possible. They've hit the boards really well, which is half of the battle, but you also can't give the ball away and not afford to get any more shots.
And winner will face Belleville Althoff Catholic on Saturday at 3 for a 2A state title. Loser will face Christ the King tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. Rams trying to make this a 3-day stay here in Champaign. Although, you got to wonder, there might be a good chance that regardless of what happens, Manual might be going back to Peoria tonight. It is within range, but they got to
clutch up.
They do have to hashtag clutch up, as we like to say at Clutch Sports Media. They'll start with the ball here. They'll swing it around the perimeter. Tolliver, Postal Wait, Humbles, Bradford, Richardson in the game for the Rams. Jaquan Brown on the bench with 3 fouls. Richardson Postal Weight, Bradford playing catch. Postal Weight will dial up a 3. Rebounded by Richardson. He'll elevate, fadeaway jumper, no good. Tolliver got in there. The shortest man on the floor nearly came away with it and did. Richardson now with the ball. He goes up and gets fouled. Richardson has been giving it everything he's got on the glass and on those drives and getting to the line again, Gavin.
I think the heart is there for Manual. I'm not, there's no questioning the heart of this team. They've got it going for sure. But critical time, you just got to be scoring on as many possessions as possible.
First free throw up and good. What a play, too, again. It all set up by that offensive board from Taj Tolliver, the shortest player on the floor at 5'8". Those are those plays that don't show up necessarily much in the stat sheet. But again, it leads to 2 points as Richardson knocks down both free throws, and here comes that press.
Great way to start. You got to force a few turnovers here and get back into this ball game.
Dyett slices it up. Dunk was missed, though. Jacob Johnson tried to go the one-handed tomahawk and missed it. Now Tolliver feeds Humbles. His layup is good. Just like that, it's 39-33. 7:07 to go in the fourth.
Things can change really fast. I think Manual might have got away with a push on the other end, but missed the dunk, and now they're going.
Now Johnson in the corner. Feeds it back up top to their point guard, Jameer Brown, as we get a foul on the floor. Number 1 of the fourth quarter. 6:55 to go. Dyett 39, Manual 33. The Rams get 4 quick ones, and they also get 4 fouls, too, on Joshua Humbles.
Yeah, that's a big one to know. It looks like that he was trying to catch his breath, and he kind of purposely fouled, but it looks like Breedlove will come back in at the next dead ball for him.
Humbles, just 2 points for him so far. Hasn't quite got it going offensively. It's been Richardson with 14 to lead the Rams. Here's Shelton for Dyett. Active hands, trying to pass it over, and the Rams have made it close. Ball pinballing around and into the hands of Reggie Postlethwaite. Another Manual turnover. Here comes Tolliver, speeds up the floor, up to Humbles. Layup is good. 6-0 run in the first 90 seconds. It's back to a 39-35 game.
The Rams will headbutt you if you give them the opportunity. 6-0 run, here they come, and a foul on Taj Tolliver as he reached in, got a lot of the body there. And Manual's playing physical. They've stopped calling a few things. So Manual's, they're just playing how they can play. And they only trail by 4. Very, very manageable now.
And they'll be able to play a bit more aggressive. Humbles heads to the bench with his 4 fouls as Amari Breedlove comes back in. Breedlove, a senior for the Rams, all-conference quarterback for football. Got an offer from Loras College up in Dubuque to play there next year. Tolliver hounding Shelton there in the backcourt. And he crosses the timeline. Eagles slowing things down a little bit here. It's Jameer Brown driving in. Layup is up and good. Postlethwaite couldn't block it.
Yeah, that was a tough drive. Nice shot right there from Brown. The Rams still got a lot of momentum here in this fourth.
Bradford to Richardson, double teamed in the paint. Somehow flips it up, spun it with some English and didn't get the roll. Now the other way, it's Brown driving in on Postlethwaite, who fouled him on the drive before he could get a shot up. Manual fans want to travel, but I think that was a good foul call there. Postlethwaite got him pretty hard.
Yeah, it was a foul call. He was kind of hounding him before the shot. It was on the floor, so definitely the right call. Postlethwaite has 3 fouls now. So that gives Humbles with 4, Brown and Postlethwaite both with 3.
And that's 3 team fouls on the Rams already with 5:47 to go. That doesn't bode well if you're trying to keep Dyett out of the bonus. Get back in this one. Eagles are 9 of 12 from the free throw line. Rams are nearly the exact same. Ricky Coleman back into the game for Dyett. He sat for a long time. He's got 4 fouls. Here's a drive in. Tough shot. We get a foul on Manual. I think that's going to go on Breedlove as Aramis Brown drove in. So now Dyett's in the bonus, Gavin, for the rest of this one with 5:26 to go.
I believe they called that on Terrence Page, actually.
Aramis Brown Jr. at the line.
Again, a tough break there for the Rams. And, yeah, 4 fouls pretty early on. We'll see if Dyett's going to be good at converting on their free throws. And they convert very nicely on the first one. Nothing but net.
First one good for Aramis Brown. He's now got 10. matching his teammate Jaden McKinnon for the Dyett team high. Richardson's got 14 for Manuel, Gavin, but no one else is more than 4. They need someone to step up and get hot. Both free throws good. It's 43-35. 5:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. Tolliver over to Postal Wait. They try to give it to Page, and he airmailed him. They try to get it over the front there from McKinnon. It's 6'4", and it goes out of bounds.
Marvin Jordan didn't like that play right there, and again, just unforced errors. Probably not the look. Dyett's way too tall and long of a team to try to be throwing passes over the top like that.
Dyett quickly up the other direction. Coleman drives, no good. And Richardson brings in the miss. Tried to cross up, and nice feed down to Breedlove, who got fouled. Almost was an and one. When the ball rolls off the attachment, and Breedlove will head to the line for 2 with 4:59 to go in the fourth.
Good eyes there from Dietrich Richardson. Probably could have tried to take it up himself, and I don't think anybody would have complained, but saw his teammate on a back cut and shoveled past it down the lane as Amari Breedlove shoots 2 free throws.
So Breedlove hasn't been to the stripe yet tonight. He's got 8 rebounds, and Gavin, again, the rebounding difference is astonishing. 34 for Manuel and just 17 for Dyett. However, the Rams have had trouble, part of my hiccups, they've had trouble converting on those second chance points. They've only got 6 second chance points after getting 11 offensive boards.
Yeah.
As Breedlove missed them both.
That's a tough trip to the stripe there. They needed those.
So 2 free throws go down for Dyett, and Manuel goes 0 for 2. It's a potential 4-point swing right there. Here's a drive and a layup off the glass and in from Jameer Brown. 10-point lead, Dyett.
Yeah, I thought Manuel had a little juice in the tank there, but just great response from Dyett.
Eagles defense has been all over the Rams. Page at line drive 3, and that's the first one of the ball game for Manuel.
They needed that right there in the worst way possible. Wasn't the prettiest looking shot, but they needed it for sure.
So back to 7. Layup is no good. Aramis Brown couldn't get one to go as he was cutting on the baseline. Now Richardson pushes it up. Quickly the other way. Feed to Tolliver in the corner. Off the rim, no good. Richardson the rebound. And it's back to Dyett though. Jameer Brown, 3-on-1. And Brown lays it in. Timeout on the floor called by Dyett. They are loving it. They lead by 9. 3:58 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, tough sequence there for the Rams. And that'll be the media timeout. And felt like it could be big if the Rams would have gotten a score following that 3-pointer to maybe cut it down to about 5 or 6. But it goes the other way and back to a 9-point ball game. It's going to take a late surge. Manuel's got to score pretty quickly here, and they got to get this within a couple possessions with 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes left to go. As you mentioned, Dyett's been pretty solid from the free throw line, only 3 misses today, although 3 different players have missed 1 free throw, but pretty high percentage, 78% is not too bad. So you can't bank on the foul game working here tonight, and it's going to take a last-ditch effort from Marvin Jordan's group to try and pull something out. I think they might settle for overtime if that's how things went.
Yeah.
I think they would be okay with having an extra 4 minutes of breathing room, but so far, Dyett's just matched every response that Manuel has made, and that's very key, for a team getting through the postseason, as we're just a couple games away from a state championship.
Yeah, we are. Manuel looking to win their first state title since 1997. That was the last of their 4 state titles in a row. They also won one back in 1930. What do you know about Telfer Mead, Gavin? He led Manuel to that 1930 state championship. A lot of people know about Wayne McLean and Dick Van Sciach from Manuel, but Telfer Mead was the first guy to get going. I want to give him his flowers as well.
Yeah.
Do a little history lesson.
No doubt. Yeah, you go back to 1930, and Manuel kind of started off as a powerhouse, very, very early days, the 10s, the 20s, the 30s. And then actually they kind of went away from it. What Wayne McLean and Dick Van Sciach said that it was a thing to do between football season and before baseball season. So between probably the 40s and the 70s, Manuel wasn't really a basketball, so they were actually very good at baseball.
Really?
In that period of time. I believe one of the Ed Stonebach, I believe, was a coach of the baseball team. And then it obviously became the basketball school that we know it today. Dick Van Sciac, a legendary coach, 543 wins in his 28 seasons at Peoria Manual. So wow, just a fantastic history. Marvin Jordan is carrying on that legacy. Old school Rams defense that we've seen today. Unfortunately, their scoring just hasn't got up with the modern times, but a little time left on the clock, and we'll see if they can change that.
I would like to tell our viewers, please pardon my hiccups. Trying to stay hydrated here. I think the water's getting to me, but fighting through here, the final 3:49. Manual down 47-38 as they feed it to Postal Waite. Guarded tightly by Brown. Postal Waite swings it over to Tolliver. Dyett in a little bit of a kind of a zone look here, and we get a foul as Page hit the deck. And that'll be 3 on Dyett here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, the zone's just really frustrating Manual right now, and they just don't have much going on because I think they're a little afraid to pass inside given all the turnovers today.
There has been, anytime the ball's been in the paint, as we get an and one from Terrence Page. That'll make it a 7-point deficit, 47-40 with 3:32 to go, and Page to the line for 1. But as I was saying, every time Manual started to get into the paint, there's just been a lot of tree limbs, eagle claws in the way, so to say.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's a big three-point play opportunity. Obviously, Page hit the lone three-pointer in the game for the Rams, so big chance to make another 3 right here and would put the Rams effectively back in it.
Free throw rattles in, 47-41. Dyett leads it with 3.5 to go, and here comes Manual's press. They nearly come away with a turnover. Ball's on the deck. Dyett's got the arrow, and they will get the ball here because of that arrow. That gives it back to Manual, but a nice defensive look there from the Rams.
Well, now the possessions arrow is in your favor, so you never know in the last remaining seconds of the game. That could come into handy. You always like to have the arrow in your favor, John.
And he'll inbound it back into the corner. Now they get it back to Johnson, who feeds it up to Brown. All guard dumps it off in the paint, double teamed. Johnson puts one up, it comes up short, and Breedlove gets the board. Here comes Manual. Richardson up to Page. Shot fakes and loses the handle, but they kept it alive. Richardson's 3, too strong. Tapped back out and back to Dyett.
It was a good look there, John. Richardson had the 3. He shot it pretty long, though. Just a tough miss there for the Rams.
Neither Peoria team that we've seen today has been able to shoot the 3 well. Peoria Christian was 4 for 29. Manual's 1 for 10. Here's a drive-in kick. Good ball movement here from the Eagles, and with 40 to go, Gavin, you got to wonder if they might play this out a little bit more patiently as they lead by 6.
And it's going to be a foul on Manual, so now we got 2 shots coming at the line for Dyett, and now you start talking about that foul game with 2.5 to go in regulation as the Rams are down 6. But it's going to be 2 free throws coming to the line for, looks like that's Devin Shelton. And he's a senior, obviously experienced player. He comes off the bench, but you like to have your senior shooting the free throws.
And Shelton today is 3 of 4 from the line. First one is good. And Bradford and Humbol's back into the game for Manual.
If they make those free throws, it's going to put a big strain on Manual. Manual would have to find a different gear and steal the ball before they foul. If they miss their free throws, it just gives Manual that much more of a window.
Shelton's second is up and good. Yeah, and I can't help but think that one stretch where Manual missed 2 free throws and Dyett made 2, as small as it seemed, that is a big one so far. It could be as close as a 4 or 6-point game if that maybe goes the other way. Bradford nearly traveled, but feeds it over to Humbles. Now to Page. No, that's Richardson in the post. He went up straight up with it and couldn't get it to go. Drew nothing. Eagles driving in, and we a foul. Humbles nearly blocked it from behind, but that will send the Eagles back to the line. 2:06 to go, and they lead it by 8, 49-41.
Yeah, this is do or die time for Manual. Not sure if they got it in them. And it would take something pretty tremendous to pull it off. Dyett's just, again, very responsive, and I think you got to credit a lot of close games in the postseason. understanding how to close something out and ward off comebacks.
First free throw is good. So the Eagles have been making a living at the line today. Well, not figuratively, these are high school athletes. They're not getting paid. But 14 of 17. Dyett from the stripe. Manuel 10 for 16 so far. And again, just one three-pointer. They just haven't been able to get it going from deep.
No, I think that they're going to have to try and bank on a couple three balls coming late. Otherwise, it might be said and done, because the Eagles can just shoot a lot of free throws, and they've been making them.
State Farm Center quiets for this free throw, and it's up and good from Ricky Coleman. Back up to a 10-point Eagles lead. Manuel, this possibility of a state title hanging in the balance right now. They need to score and score quickly. Under 2 minutes to play as Humbles and Breedlove play catch. This Dyett defense not giving any open looks. Richardson in the paint goes up with it. His shot no good. And we get off. I thought there was going to be a foul on Manuel, but it goes off of an Eagle and stays with the Rams. Thought that Richardson may have gotten a Dyett player in the face there.
Not quite sure. I was a little screened by one of the other officials.
Humbles will try and inbound it. Gets it in for Page. Tolliver's open to his right. They get it over to him, but he won't shoot. They'll drive. Now over to Richardson on the wing. Cross court. Breedlove triple on the way. No good. Tolliver the miss. And the offensive board results in another empty chance for the Rams. That was a tough look for Tolliver. A little bit of an air ball on that shot.
I think if they played on a different day, John, and the shots just fall a little bit more, you know, this game could go the other direction. I think it's been closer than really cracked out to be.
See our good friend Mac Parmalee in the chat. There's 1:20 left in this one as Dyett leads 51-41. Yeah, we talked about, you know, all the everyone in Peoria coming together to root for the Rams, and obviously Mac, a player we loved watching over the years at IBC and Richwoods and Dunlap, and that's an example of, you know, that Peoria basketball family coming together to support these Rams. But unfortunately, they might be having to do so in the third place game rather than a state title game as the Eagles go to the line here.
Yeah, missed the first free throw, so I think if there's any team that could pull off a miracle, it would be Manuel. But yeah, Mac Parmalee, kind of the early days of Clutch Sports Media.
Throwback.
Way back when. And now we've come very far since then. Second free throw is good.
So has he, both in his music and basketball career. But 11-point lead for Dyett. Manuel needs a miracle. Here's Tolliver behind the three-point line. Feeds it to Humbles. His shot hits the iron. Richardson brings in the miss. And the clock is waning. Now down to a minute. Tolliver's corner three is good. Might be too little too late, though. Needed that earlier. Timeout Manuel with 59.1 to go. It's 52-44 in favor of Dyett.
Yeah, I think at this point, if you're Manuel, you just gotta get some steals. I think steals are the name of the game, and then maybe if you put a little pressure, maybe it starts to kind of get into the minds of the Dyett players at the free throw line. So you kind of have to cause what I like to call a chain reaction. You know, you need to make a couple of game-changing plays, leave a little bit of time on the clock, and then maybe you get fortunate later on with some missed free throws. Again, the odds really stacked against down 8, but you never know. One play could really change this game in a big way, especially if Manuel can maybe draw a foul and get some points with the clock stopped. You know, you got to consider that as well.
Remember that Manuel's got the possession arrow, so if they can get a little trap in the corner and, you know, maybe get a tie-up, that favors them. So I'm sure Marvin Jordan talking about that in the timeout. Again, a little bit of a game reset for you. Dyett led 14-10 after the first quarter. They led most of that first frame. Then Manuel went on a 9-0 run to end the first half and led 21-20 at halftime. But then Dyett outscores the Rams 19-8 in that third quarter, and that really is the big difference right now. You take out that third quarter, and Manuel's leading this one by 3 points.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of what-ifs you could go through. And again, if you played this game on a different day, you started over, it could go very, very differently. And Manuel, all things considered, keeping it within 8, shooting, 2 of 13 from 3, missing 6 free throws. They've got 21 turnovers in the game, so a lot of things have not gone the Rams' way, but let's see if they can clutch up here in the final 59 seconds of the ball game.
Rams bring a diamond-in-one press. Richardson is back at half court. And the other Rams form a diamond. Into the corner. Tough situation there. Jameer Brown gets fouled with 55.3. So at this point, Gavin, you're just hoping for some misses from the line right here, or maybe even just 1 for 2 at the line. You'll take that.
Yeah, I think you could live with 1 for 2, and Jameer Brown is 3 of 4 from the free throw line today, 3 of 5 from the field. He's got 9 points, so he's looking to get into double figures with these free throws.
Calm presence at the line, and he knocks it down with no issue. Nothing but net on that one. Caden Latta, 3-point specialist into the game for Manual as Jaquan Brown will come out. And the gym quiets down again. Pressure patch free throw here, and that one is also good. Back to a 10-point advantage for Dyett. And Postlewaite back into the game for the Rams, too. He's struggled to get it going. It's 2 points on 1 of 5 shooting for him. Tolliver with the ball, brings it across half court, over to Humbles. Manuel's got to get some quick points. Tolliver's 3 is good. How about Taj Tolliver? Another timeout, Manuel. Rams students showing some life here. 43.3 to go, and it's 53-47.
Timeout, Manuel.
That's a big 3. I mean, they needed Taj Tolliver maybe about 5 minutes ago, but, better late than never. As, you start to creep up a little bit more, and you talk about a game-changing play. Again, you just start creeping a little further, and now another opportunity. Man, if you got a steal or a jump ball right here and scored either a 2 or a 3, then we're really going to start talking about this thing getting interesting. But as it stands, obviously, if Dyett gets fouled and they make their free throws, they kind of just keep the pressure on.
As Manual have any March Madness left in them, Gavin. We've seen so many good postseason games, overtime contests, that crazy comeback from Metamora and Kankakee. And, I mean, if Manual can get this back even to force overtime, I'd say that comeback may be just as good, if not better, than what we saw from the Redbirds back in that sectional title game against the K's. That one was a fun one. Again, if this is, in fact, our last, broadcast of the year, Gavin, what a fun ride it's been. Manuel still hanging on to some hope here, 54-47 with 43.3 to go.
We'll cross that bridge if we come to it, but we'd love to see the Rams fight one more day for a state title.
We'd love to be back here on Saturday, as I'm sure many of the Rams fans would hope to be as well. Eagles trying to cross the press. They turn it over into the hands of Taj Tolliver. 35 seconds to go. Rams need a bucket. Latta's 3 off to the left. Rebound to the Rams. Richardson top of the key 3. Yes! 50-54. Timeout Rams. Here comes Manuel.
Now you start putting that pressure on, John. Again, that chain reaction. They got the steal that they needed. You cut it down. Just a 4-point ball game. I think that was a 3-pointer. That should be a 3. Yeah, it should be a 3-pointer.
Yep, it's 54-47. Now the scoreboard shows 54-50, so they got that correct.
Yeah, so a big play right there for the Rams. Still some confusion. Did the Rams have 47 or 48?
They had 47. It was 54-47. And Richardson knocked down that 3. That's the 3rd in the last about 2 to 3 minutes for the Rams. How about Taj Tolliver, Gavin? I mean, comes in, knocks down 2 threes off the bench, gets the steal there. Miscommunication from Dyett. And Tolliver stole it at half court. Latta's 3 missed from the corner, but another offensive board, and that's what Manuel's been feasting off of in this one. They haven't been able to get as many shots to go down after those rebounds as they wanted to, but boy, they got one to go in a big situation there from Dietrich Richardson. I think if you're Manuel, Gavin, I think you go for the foul or to go for the steal right away, but if you don't, just put your hands on the ball because you have the arrow. You can get this back via a jump, and it's 25.2 seconds left to go. So Dyett will inbound it. It's Jaden McKinnon to do so on the left side of the basket. Gets it in to Jameer Brown. He's trapped by Postaway and Lotta, looking to find somebody. He's got it up to Shelton. Manuel's now got a foul. They're getting across the timeline. Manuel's got a foul soon. They do. And they foul Jacob Johnson. 14.4 to go, Gavin. I think a little bit more time came off than the Rams had wanted to on that play.
Yeah, I mean, I know what they're trying to do, trying to force the trap on that end, but yeah, 10-second call, I mean, takes off 10 seconds, and then they just got it over with about 8 or 9 seconds left, or rather 1 or 2 to spare. These are big free throws now, though, for Johnson,
who has not been to the line tonight, and his first one is no good. Door is cracked open still for Manuel.
Here's the trouble, though. Manuel has no timeouts left.
Yep.
So you have to score lightning quick. It's going to come down to some misses.
Johnson sets for his second. That one is also no good. Rebound tipped out to Lotta. 4-point game. Rams need to shoot quickly. Stolen away by Dyett. Ricky Coleman's going to run this one out, but he turns it over. There's 4.7 seconds left to go. And Dyett swarming defense didn't allow Manuel to get off a shot there. They have a chance to get a quick shot, but then they got to get a quick turnover. There's 4.7 to go. They're down by 4.
The only thing you let's just let it happen, I guess.
Here's Humbles to inbound. Passes out to Breedlove in the air. His shot no good. Rebound, Dyett. And the new kids on the block in their first state berth are going to a state title. They knock off the Manuel Rams 54-50.
A lot happened there in that last 5 seconds, John. I think the time just came to be the enemy as the Rams, an impressive comeback and an effort right at the end of the game. I think if there's another minute or two, they might have had that comeback, but just fall short by 4 points. Dyett's a very good team, and we saw how close it ended up being. We expected a good one, and we certainly got it.
That we certainly did. The Eagles celebrated as Jacob Johnson got that rebound after time expired. He just kept on going to the hoop and slammed one down to just set off some dynamite in the Dyett Eagles student section. But the run to a state title will end here for the Rams. They will play for third against Chicago Christ the King tomorrow at 11:15. And you said it, Gavin. I think they just ran out of time. They made a spirited late charge. This Rams team has been so resilient all season long. But in the end, just a couple small plays made a difference here. And credit to Dyett. They'll play for a title against Belleville-Altoff on Saturday.
Yeah, Dyett is an impressive team and a special group and a great story for them. So you can't help but be happy for them for sure. And definitely going to be an interesting title game on Saturday. But, the Rams still have a chance to do something special and grab third place. It's going to sting, probably going to be weighing on their mind the rest of the day. But, again, Marvin Jordan's been here and done that. Lost a couple games at the state finals, as both a player and a coach. So got to get refocused. To come home with a third-place trophy would still be pretty significant for the Rams. But, again, what a great game from the Eagles as they come away with the victory.
Well, one thing is guaranteed, that Manuel will bring home their 17th state trophy. That will be the most in IHSA history. I mean, you think of IHSA basketball, and you cannot have that conversation of the all-time great programs without the Manuel Rams. This year's run comes to an end, at least for a state title, but again, they will be back here on Friday at 11:15. Final point totals for Manuel. Dieter Richardson led the way with 17. Terrence Page had 9.6 boards. Richardson had a double-double, 17 points and 14 rebounds. Taj Tolliver had 6. Jaquan Brown, Tony Bradford, Amari Breedlove, and Josh Humbles all with 4. Postaway with 2. But again, 3 players for Dyett with 11. That was Aramis Brown Jr., Jaden McKinnon, and Jameer Brown for them. So Manuel just couldn't quite get that second reliable source for them most of that game. They had Tolliver step up late. They had Page step up at times, but they didn't have that reliable number 2 option for all 4 quarters.
No, they didn't. And, Manuel ended the game on a 6-0 run, but just, again, we talked about running out of time, and they just couldn't get it done early enough to make the difference. But, again, credit to Dyett. They're deep. They had a lot of players get involved. They didn't win the rebound battle. That's something that Manuel did very well. But Manuel also turned the ball over too many times. So sometimes it's just shooting yourself in the foot. Sometimes the shots just don't fall. And I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if the Rams came back tomorrow morning and shot the lights out of the gym, because that's the kind of team they are. They've been in this gym once. They're familiar with the environment now. So just one game can get you sometimes. And again, it comes down to 4 points. I mean, that's a very, very slim margin. But Dyett, like they have all postseason long, has been able to come out with those close games, and they do so here in the semifinal.
Congratulations to the Eagles and also to the Rams on a great season that will end tomorrow morning. Manual drops at 22-13. Dyett moves to 26-7. Rams shoot 35%. Dyett shoots 43% in this one. But it was a physical game. It was a fun game, Gavin. Not the results that the Peoria fans, both Peoria Christian and Manual, both wanted, but what a year for basketball it's been. This will be our last basketball broadcast of the season. So much fun. As I want to thank all of our staff at Clutch Sports Media, Gavin Russell here alongside me, Owen Dimple, Michael Savoy down here, as well as the rest of our CSM crew. It takes a village to broadcast so many games almost every single day for the last 3 weeks. And also want to thank our friends over at CIProud.com and WMBD. Definitely want to thank Jody Brown, Domino's, Torque Fitness as well, sponsoring a lot of our broadcasts down the stretch, Gavin. There really is no time like basketball season in Illinois, and this has just been a phenomenal run. Lots of great games. I am not going to forget this year anytime soon. Still have some more to play, but this will do it for us this basketball season at CSM.
Yeah, it's always a special year, and you know we've been here the last few years. You know, you with the Metamora run, we had the Richwoods run last year, and then now Peoria Christian and Manual have made the run. And I really think, you know, Peoria basketball is always competitive, but I think since COVID came, you know, we came out of COVID, I think the Peoria area schools have really stepped it up, and they've given us something special to watch. And all the teams that maybe lost in a sectional or lost in a regional that had fantastic seasons all along. You think about Morton, you think about Metamora, Peoria High, East Peoria, a lot of teams like that. So just special players, a lot of players graduating. Congratulations to so many seniors on memorable high school careers we've enjoyed following for 4 years, 3-4 years, and many that'll be back next year. So always a pleasure to be here on Clutch Sports Media. I don't think we're going to go too far anywhere. We're setting our sights on spring sports, but already can't wait for the next basketball season. Probably my favorite sport personally, and it's always a good time, especially when you get to March Madness. So always a pleasure. Appreciate all of our listeners this season, and we'll certainly be back more for some sports action in Central Illinois.
Certainly. Definitely want to thank all of you for tuning in all basketball season on ClutchSportsIL.com, our YouTube channel, and CIProud.com as well. One last time from Champaign in a thrilling game. Manual comes up just short in today's 2A state semifinal, 54-50. But they will still play for third tomorrow here in Champaign against Chicago Christ the King. For Gavin Russell, I am Jonathan Michael saying so long, good evening, have a great rest of your weekend, and we will have plenty of more coverage for spring sports and also from this game and to wrap up the basketball season as well on ClutchSportsIL.com/overtime. Stay tuned for all of that. And also on our social media channels as well. Give us a follow. We're not going anywhere. But that will do it. Again, one last time, Dyett 54, Manual 50, and that ends the Rams' bid at a 2A state title. So long, folks. We'll talk to you next time on CSM.